Tony Britt Spotter Charts serves sports media exclusively with customized cheat sheets for both prep and game time. Serving over 350 clients at all major networks, 23 NFL teams, and 68 college football programs, including Division II, Division III, and NAIA schools. Variable pricing ensures that small schools receive the same VIP service as ABC, CBS, ESPN, Fox, NBC, and the NFL Network. Well, welcome to the Viking Press Pass. I am Matthew Nickel, and joining me tonight, wide receiver for the Vikings, Sean Schlanser. So, Sean, thanks for fitting me in tonight. I appreciate it.
Of course, thank you for having me on. It's an honor.
Absolutely, man. It's exciting. Like I was telling you before we started, recording. There's a number of folks that I've got on my list. You were definitely high up there. I try to bounce around and find some of the different folks, offensively. I got to show some defense, some love, as well. So, hey, man, Vikings are 4-1 overall.
It's a good start. I like it a lot. It's feeling good.
It is a great start.
Yep.
3-1 in the conference. That's great. The team's been in back-to-back games on the road. Most recently had a nice 48-7 win at Elmhurst. Now, let's talk a little bit about that Elmhurst game because 9 different players caught a pass.
Yep.
335 yards, 4 touchdowns, of which you went 6 for 71. What were your thoughts and just kind of the team's thoughts on the game this past Saturday up at the Blue Jays?
So, yeah, this game was honestly, it was just a great all-around game, and it was honestly something that the team was looking for. We haven't felt like a true win that we just, stomped over till like maybe Milliken, you could say it was 33-6, but that wasn't like a true perfect game or as good as we could play. And I think we all knew going into this game we needed that big win to boost the team morale, and I think coming out, we came out fast, and I think that showed throughout the whole game that we were ready for this, and I think that's what we needed. It was a good win over them, and like you said, all those receivers getting those catches. It's nice to see everyone getting involved, and that's a good thing.
Let's talk a little bit about the offense for the Vikings this year because, right now, number 3 in offense and total yards, number 2 in passing, just trailing Wheaton by an average of 12 yards per game and just 3 yards in front of North Central. Yeah. And let's focus on that passing attack because, what are your thoughts on the Vikings passing this year, and what do you feel like has been contributing, to so much of that success early on in these first 5 games?
Yeah, I was just looking at it the other day. I think last year I had like 35 receptions by the whole year, and this year I'm already at 31. So just the whole difference of the scheme is we're throwing the ball a lot more. We're going to take these chances with one-on-ones and trust our guys over anybody else, and I think that's sometimes what we need to do, and if it's working, it's going to work, and if not, we can run the ball as well, and I think that's just as efficient. And I think just with Jimmy coming in, it expands our offense a little more, especially with the RPOs we've been able to run and the deep shots we've been able to take. I think that's improved our offense immensely.
Well, and they've moved you around. I think what was that first touchdown? I think against Simpson, you were in the slot, right?
Yeah, I think it was I forgot what it was. I think it was a screen pass for a touchdown. So yeah, they definitely moved me a lot. I like it too. I like staying on the outside because I like the one-on-one work. I like the just man looks, but I like the slot too, work off the safeties. You get a little more room to work off your routes as well.
Well, I tell you what, the love is being felt all across this receiver room, and I think that's become. Again, I mean, this has been a receiver core, right? I mean, for the last couple of years, that's been pretty solid, consistent, right? It's like you had, VC graduated, and Sarah, graduated. I know I'm missing some other folks. But, this has been a group that has had a lot of time on the field together, which is phenomenal. And, as I think about, what you guys are able to go out and do and be consistent in what you do, consistent in your routes, consistent in your catching. It's not so much, man, are they going to catch that ball? It's like, we just got to get it in that radius, right? Mm-hmm. Get it in the radius for this crew. So, How do you feel like that makes this offense a little bit more difficult to defend, knowing that legitimately the ball can go into your hands, they can go into Ethan's hands. Now Mikey, with Braden out. Heck, Zamari came in, AJ came in. I mean, there's a lot of good folks that can get some rotations here. How do you feel like that kind of mixes things up, defensively for folks?
I mean, I think that makes it a problem for the defense. I mean, I think if you have 1 through 8 wide receivers can all go out on the field and make it a problem for your defense, that puts a lot of stress. Just every play, knowing what this you leave, we guard this dude, and then this dude's gonna score, or we guard this dude, and then this dude's gonna score. Anyone can do anything throughout the game, and I trust all the receivers that they're gonna do their thing no matter what. And I think for defenses, that just puts pressure on them of how they're gonna defend it, and I think that's up to them how to figure that out.
Well, let's talk about this core of receivers. I've got all their stats up here. So you have 31 for 363. That leads the Vikings here. Vrayback 21 for 285. Braden 29 for 249. Mikey 14 for 156. Plus you got Ben out of the backfield 10 for 120. Gosh, Jake Miller, he had a pair of touchdowns a couple games
Yeah,
ago.
yeah,
Which I'd love to see. Man, I'd love to see the tight ends
me
get in
too.
get in that mix. I tell
Yeah,
you what. But like we talked about Zamari, you got AJ, you got Miles, got Liam. Plus you also got Josh Lim out of the backfield. Like, how would you just kind of describe this group and in this receiver room? How would you kind of describe them?
I think we're honestly a really fun group. I think we all get along great, and we're all here for one purpose, here to trying to get win. And I think that the best thing about our group is we don't matter who's on the field scoring. We all just here to win, and we want to root for our guys. And I think that's kind of the culture that was brought up to us when we were freshmen. Like you said, Bobby, we had Bobby and Sarah and Jordan Vesey and Ian Gorkin to look up to as seniors when we were coming in, and they kind of set the tone. They were some of the best receivers, especially Bobby. Couple records up there. He's one of the best. So learning from him, I think that's just the way that the wide receiver group was kind of taught, and it's just carried on throughout. As now I'm a junior, that's how we try to bring up the culture through the freshmen now. And I think having that mentality just makes the whole group as a whole good.
Now you mentioned this, learning from folks like Bobby, Ian, VC. What are some of the things that you took away, early on in your career, in regards to how they kind of maybe influenced you, and whether it's your preparation, game day prep, practice? What are some of the things that you took away?
Yeah, so I would say probably my biggest challenge coming in was definitely the speed of the game, just especially coming here with no huddle offense and the signals. It just speeds up the whole process of an offense completely. Especially for myself in high school, I was a full huddle offense, so it was very low tempo. We get the play and then go out. As compared to here, is no huddle. We get the play from the sideline and then we're straight into it. So that was a definitely thing I needed to work on, and they would help me work on that with signals and being able to stay with me extra hours and helping me work on the signs and knowing the plays, make sure I'm knowing what to do. And then also just watching film, making sure I'm knowing what to do and knowing what looks I'm gonna get and how to use this route against this coverage and identifying what happens before it even happens.
Um, Now, how have you kind of tried to pass some of that knowledge off to, the underclassmen here today?
I think I'm definitely a lead by example type of leader. So I would definitely like to showcase the right way by doing it myself. I don't want to just tell a guy to do it because I think it's the right way and then do the total opposite. I think if I'm doing the right thing and it's getting efficient, I think that they can learn from it that way. And that's a good way to show that you can do it just the way I can.
Absolutely. Now, in the past, because it was Coach Bell, right, that worked specifically with the wide receivers.
Yeah.
Um, Now we still have Coach Bell. It's just
Mhm.
a little different tone this year, right? Because it's
Yeah.
Carter,
Uh-huh.
has joined the staff. And for those that may or may not know that are watching this, Carter was a great receiver at South Dakota and joined the staff this year.
Mhm.
Um, Describe what it's been like working with Carter this year.
I mean, it's honestly it's kind of a different demographic because it's a new perspective that he gives us. He is just coming off his season, and he knows what it's like to really be on that field and playing against defenses and what looks are really going to work. And what to do in certain things. And so, I think I really like it a lot because he's holds us to a high standard, and he knows that we can be very good, and he sees the potential in us. And I think he passes on some of the knowledge that he used and stuff that he knows for sure works, and he's able to show us that throughout drills and practice and film. And I think that's great.
Now it's his first year coaching. Like, how would you describe like his style of coaching?
His style of coach, I would say, kind of lead by example, especially throughout drills. He'll make sure if you're messing up, he'll kind of show you the footwork or show you how it's done, so you're not just guessing and he's just telling you you're wrong, and you try and fix it yourself and make sure you understand what you're doing wrong and how to fix it instead of just yelling at you or making you feel bad.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's got to help, right? When
Yeah,
someone who is still in good shape, still
yeah,
fresh off his collegiate career, that can actually line up and could probably jump in there and say, all right,
yeah,
I'm going to run it right here and can run at full
mhm,
speed and show you some little
yeah.
tricks and some of that stuff. How do you turning to you though, like how do you feel like you've improved even coming into this year?
This year, I would say I've improved a lot. I think I put on some size. I think I put on like 10 pounds this year compared to last year throughout the season. And then just a lot of the experience alone. I think the past year, I'd say as a sophomore, I was still kind of second guessing myself. I wasn't as confident as I am, I would say, today. And I think that confidence booster is definitely a big help playing, especially if you're trying to play fast. I think that's one way to be able to do that is if you're confident, you're able to play fast, and it's one thing leads to another. So I have to say that's another thing. And then, yeah.
Well, one of the things I always how I describe you is like sneaky fast.
Yeah.
Because you are a little bit taller,
Mhm.
and it's like when you're moving, it's like, and you're going a lot faster than it sometimes looks like you are because you have a
Yeah.
pretty long gait, and,
Mhm.
and long arms, right? So that kind of slows down that motion. But man, you're booking. How when you think about being a receiver versus taking kickoffs,
Mhm.
um, how how much do you enjoy the kickoff return?
I like kickoff returns when they kick it to me, but this year they haven't really kicked it to me much, so I haven't had much fun. But I would say it's a lot different when they kick it to me. It's more like I feel like on kickoff return, it's more of like a running back. You're just kind of find a hole and you're trying to just fit through there as fast as you can and find some open grass. As compared to receiver, it's more like let me get to this spot and then wait, get the ball here, and then let me make my decision. So, but I think I like both, but I would say receiver more.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, Now share some of the behind the scenes kind of work it takes to build rapport with a new quarterback. I mean, Jimmy McCoo came in, he transferred in last year, which is right. It's another piece of just this offensive puzzle, that the
Yeah.
Vikings put together here this year. Give us some insight to how you've built that rapport with Jimmy so quickly early on.
I think a big thing that was him being able to come through spring ball. I think those weeks that we had those practices and those couple last months of school, we were able to get a lot of field work in. Right away he was texting me, asking me to go get some routes on the field, and I think that right away started our connection to a great start. And I think throughout the spring ball, he was able to work with us and kind of get on the right timing with us, and knowing our speeds, knowing when we're going to show up on this route compared to other receivers he played with. And then over the summer, there was be a couple times we would meet up here at Augie and we'd throw some routes again at the field, just once again building that connection. And I think now it's proven that we've seen like we're on the same page most of the time, and I think it's leading to some good stuff.
Well, I tell you what, there's a number of times I'll be sitting up there in the booth calling the game, or sometimes I'm just sitting at home,
Yeah,
watching the away game, and I see, either yourself or Ethan, or even Miles Stapleton, lined up, and I'm over here looking at I'm like, man, this corner is 5'8". What are we doing?
yeah,
Let's just throw it to him. Let's go. Like,
I
I
think, yeah.
mean, do you ever just sit there and look at the corner and be like, "Oh man, I want this one so bad. Just give it to me."
Yeah, especially on the goal line, I'll be thinking that a lot. Especially if I see a small corner, like you said, I'll be thinking, just throw it up, give me a chance. So,
Absolutely. Well, I know I'm sitting here. I was watching the or for the Milliken game. I'm like, I think the corner was like 5'7" or something like that. I'm like Sean's got like 6 or 7 inches on this dude. Let's just like I would just throw it until he could prove he
Yeah.
stopped it or they double
Uh-huh.
it. So
Yeah.
I get so excited when I see those mismatches.
Uh-huh.
Um, so we have Carroll on Saturday. Now,
Yeah.
we split them the last 2 years, lost
Mhm.
30-20 last year on the road. We won back at home 2 years ago, 23-19. What do we know about Carroll defensively, or what have you kind of experienced with Carroll defensively that you can expect to see, on Saturday?
Yeah, they're usually a pretty good matchup. I know last year was pretty close, and the year before that was definitely we got the better of that one 2 years ago. They're usually a pretty good matchup every year. We're knowing kind of what coverages they're going to run. They're going to stay true to what they run, and we know how to kind of take advantage of that. We're going to get some man looks along with some zones, so we'll take advantage of that as well. And I think they're returning most of their corners that they had last year, so it'll be similar defensive looks that we had of last year. And yeah, so that's what I'm expecting for that. But I'm excited.
Now, weather, I mean, there's a strong chance right on Saturday it could be,
Yeah.
being a cool and a wet day. Now, as a receiver, I mean, you like to wear gloves.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything you do or change to prepare for wet weather? Like I was always a big fan of when it got wet, my gloves came off. How do you kind of respond in prep for weather?
I try to keep the gloves on as long as I can until they're messing me up. I try to just keep them face down, make sure they're not getting wet. But as soon as I could feel that they're getting to a disadvantage, I'd rather just take them off and go no hands. So that is something I think about. I was looking at the weather this week. It's looking a little better. I was texting my grandpa about it. He said it was starting to clear up. So hopefully no more rain for the weekend. But yes, that is a thought. I did hear talk of that throughout the week.
So your grandpa is this your sideline consultant here that
Yeah, he's my weather guy. He's always letting me know what the forecast is looking like and if it's gonna be nice and cold or if it's gonna be warm and sunny. But he always gives me an update, so he keeps me in tune.
now is he pretty accurate with it?
He's usually pretty good, yeah. But so I trust him pretty for the most part. He hasn't proved me wrong yet. So hopefully this week he's not lying to me.
I love it. Well, tell me a little bit about just the relationship with your grandpa. It sounds like you got a pretty good one.
Yeah, my grandpa was actually probably I would say who really introduced me to football as a young kid. He would always play catch with me in the backyard, throw the ball on the trampoline, make me do these crazy catches and all that. And I think that's really what inspired me to be a receiver was doing all those crazy catches on the trampoline and playing catch with him. And throughout the years, he's always gave me tips of how to do this or how to do that. And I think it's part of why I play.
Now, did he play football then as well, or
Yeah, he was actually a tight end back when he played. I don't think he played in college, but in high school he was a tight end. Yeah.
I like it? I like it. Um, well, let's talk a little bit about. Let's switch gears a little bit around your education. So, because I originally, when it still has you down right as a history education major, like, hey, we're breaking the theme here. I appreciate it because I was like, man, we're starting to see a theme here with Toby
Oh
and
yeah.
Ben and Hugh and all these folks. So that being said, you switched from a history education to a business marketing major. Tell me a little bit about what went into that switch.
So I originally came in as a history education major, and I was kind of going with the teacher role as most of my family is into teaching. It was kind of just put on not a put upon me, but it was kind of just in the family. It was always a thought of what I could do after college. But after first couple of years, I kind of realized I didn't really like it as much. So I was looking into some other majors, and I found out business marketing was available, and so I decided to switch. And I've been taking some classes throughout that, and I've enjoyed it a lot. And I think I'll be able to continue with that throughout college and finish hopefully a degree in that.
Now, is there anything that, in particular, as you're thinking about like career path wise, that's starting to like lead you down?
Yeah, I'm trying to go towards like the sales route with the marketing with. So yeah, that's what I'm looking towards after college.
I like it. I like it. Any particular industry or company you're like thinking about, or
No specifics, but kind of sales, anything, maybe tech sales. something like
All
that.
right. Well, I am a recruiter. I'm just gonna, by trade. So,
Mhm.
I could probably help you out. So,
Nice.
um, well, hey, um, last year in one of my other podcast interviews, you were boasted as probably one of the best hoopers on the team.
Oh yeah.
I
Mhm.
think I think it was Darren. I think that
Yeah.
maybe said that. What do you say to that here?
Well, me and Darren actually played against each other in high school. Our high schools are like 20 minutes apart, and his team's usually pretty. His high school is actually really good. I don't think I ever beat him throughout my course, but here at intramurals, all the football team usually is on separate teams, and we all usually go at it in the off season. And I'm usually one that's pretty good, so I would say that's pretty valid. But Darren's pretty good as well, I would say.
Yeah, I was poking around on the Plainfield basketball huddle roster and saw that Demir Asheru, who's actually quarterback in North Central, is also
Yeah.
from there.
Uh-huh.
Did you guys play your senior year together? Trying
Yeah,
to think where it was.
he was the quarterback. Yeah, at Plainfield North my senior year.
Okay, and then because he also, I think he was point guard, right,
Yeah,
for you as well.
yeah.
Any other players like in the CCIW that are former high school club travel team basketball football that you know of?
There's also another one at North Central. His name's Shabu Muhammad. He's a wide receiver there. He was also played football and basketball both at Plainfield North.
All right, you still keep in touch with folks?
Yeah, when they told me they were when they found out they were transferring, they were like, I was one of the first people they told, and they said they'll see me soon. So, of course, they were ready for that.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, yeah. Demir, he presents a different problem. I mean, they have
Yeah,
their current quarterback Garrett, but yeah, I saw that as I was just kind of digging through, and that name just stuck out. I'm like,
yeah.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but then you had folks like Zach Gray, our D
Yeah,
line, like he was from Plainsfield South, so
yeah.
he was on the other side of the field.
Uh-huh.
Um, but it reminds me when I came here for my recruiting visit. It was like here, it was Drake, it was Wartburg, it was Coe, um, and I remember I came to one of the weekend visit stays and kind of walking around and meeting the team. It was like, wow, you were the best person from Muscatine. You were the best person from Pleasant Valley. Like for my conference, it's like I know
Mm-hmm.
all you guys.
Yeah,
Like y'all were the best people on the team. So of course I'm coming here. So um, I just remember for me like having that connection with folks, either
yeah.
you played against or played with
Mm-hmm.
is pretty cool, and that's kind of unique about being in the CCIW.
Yeah.
There's a lot of folks that you can play with across the board. So, um, what's something maybe about you that many people may not know about you?
Um, some people may not know. Like, I'll say I really just like to have fun. I like spending time with my friends. I like spending time with my family. I just love having fun, being able to just have free time, especially being away from football for a little. I like to get those hours in with my friends and just joke around, watch a movie, or even just watch football. We always have a good time on Sundays, waking up at 12 o'clock and just sitting on the couch watching football from 12 all the way until the night game. I think that just brings me fun and takes me away from football for a little, and I think that's just something about me that I like.
Wake up at 12. Man, that's nice.
Yeah,
I got two kids, so we make it past 8. That's a win for us.
yeah.
Um, well, outside of that, I mean, what are other like hobbies and stuff that you like to do? Outside of just kind of stuff with friends. Is there anything particular you like to do and get away, and go do?
Well, yeah, like you said, I played basketball in high school, so we'll usually sometimes go to PepsiCo and play some basketball games there. Usually, not during in season, we'll take that risk, but out of season, we'll get some games with 32 or some full court 5-on-5. So just keep that competition up. I usually stick to sports as my hobbies, but I'll say also video games. I'll play mostly like 2K or Madden or some shooter games that just keep my mind busy, just have some fun.
All right, all right. I'll You know, we should figure out if anybody's interested in like NC2A or some Madden tournaments.
Oh yeah,
Do a little.
we always win some
I,
franchises.
I have to show you a few things, but we'll be all right. Um, what's been a favorite memory so far, just over the course of your Augie career?
I'd probably say I have two. I would say probably my freshman year was probably when we played Carroll, and I had my first catch was with a touchdown. I would say that's probably one of my favorite. And then my second was probably also my freshman year was probably the Isthmus Bowl. I think the whole experience was just awesome. The being able to tour the field before the game and being in the hotel with all the guys and the whole banquet and the dinner with the team in Platteville and the speeches from the coaches and the captains. I just think everything was amazing. And although we didn't win and get the outcome we wanted, I think it was still a great experience. And especially as a freshman coming in and seeing your team go to a bowl game, I don't think it could get much better than that. But so, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was that was a cool experience. I mean, Tim did a great job speaking up there.
Mhm.
I will say when I checked into the hotel, it was all the Platteville team also checking in, so I was like, but wasn't too much else available.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a cool experience. Mike Shaw, who created that, has done just such a phenomenal job. With the CCIW and the WIAC and the partnership there. So, I think this year, right? It's probably looking at the second team, from the
Yeah.
CCIW could probably get a pool bid there, hopefully. But if not, always a good alternative is the Isthmus Bowl. So, well, lastly, man, as you start to wrap things up here, is there any, if there's anyone in particular you'd like to thank, family, friends, coaches, any shout outs you'd like to make, or just any kind of final thoughts you have, just want to turn the floor over to you.
I just want to say thank you to all my family at home. I know they're always at the games, and even when they can't, they're always watching on screen and always supporting me. So, huge shout out to you guys. I love you all, and can't wait to see you guys soon.
Absolutely. Well, Sean, thanks again for connecting with me here tonight. Certainly good luck this weekend. I'm excited as we host Carol. I'll be there as always, kickoff set for 1. Any family of Sean's here that are watching, feel free to message me on Facebook or Twitter or whatever. Give some shout outs while we're doing it. So, but again, man, good luck on Saturday. Let's go get another win. Let's move to 5-1 and keep marching forward. So this is the back half of the schedule is starting to tighten up a little bit. So it's time to get down to business. So well, Sean, thanks again, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good one.
If you like today's episode, make sure to subscribe to the Viking Press Pass. 4 letters, 1 year, 4 letters, 1 month.